Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in NIDCHEI YISRAEL by the Horowitz. We're in the midst of this mashal, this parable of the Navi, of the prophet, who says, you have a sheep who doesn't have a good shepherd. He starts off getting weak. From getting weak, he ends up straying. From straying, he breaks a leg. From breaking a leg, he falls to the wayside, and could be the end of that sheep until a good shepherd comes back and begins to heal, to bring him back and to heal the broken leg and then heal the sickness and the weakness and so on and so forth. Listen to the Horowitz. Keinu inyan la'adam, the same thing is true with a person. Sheish anashim shem chalushei nefesh, there are people that have weak souls. They're weak in their soul. They're just not determined. They're not focused. They're not committed to their Yiddishkeit. They sneeze in the morning. They can't go to shul. There's too much traffic on the road. They turn around, they go home, they don't go to the shir. They need to exhibit Yirah Shemayim, but it's so hard for them. They don't have the koyach, the chalushi koyach. They're weak in their nefesh, in their soul. And when they don't strengthen their koychais, their powers, their abilities, over time their souls will get even weaker. Until they get to a place where they're called cholim, they're sick people with the machlas, with the maladies of the soul. They have spiritual maladies that they are contending with. And when if they don't pay attention to them, they become balimun, they become blemished in their nefesh, in their soul. What does that mean? Like we know, Sheramach Mitzvah Shabbat Torah, the 248 commandments in the Torah are neged Ramach Evrei Adam. They correspond to the 248 limbs in a person. And if one of the mitzvahs that you're supposed to do becomes hefker, like means nothing to you, you don't do it at all, now that means that in the future, when time will come to go into the world to come, says the Chavetz Chaim, so that mitzvah that you didn't keep in the right way, or that you didn't do it all, so the limb that corresponds to that will become a balmum, become blemished. And it will be blemished when it gets to the world to come. Rabbi Chaim Vital, who was one of the great Kabbalists and the Vilna Gaon, write this idea that our limbs correspond to the 248 mitzvahs, positive commandments that we have. And when we do not do those, when we don't take a mitzvah seriously, so it blemishes the limb altogether. And if you don't pay more attention, such a person who got so weak, who got so sick, who is blemished, he's going to be nidachim, he'll be pushed off and dispersed from the Klal Yisrael. That means he's going to separate himself from the ways of the tzibor of Klal Yisrael. He'll choose very dangerous ways for himself. Spiritual danger. And if the person doesn't look further, he will be lost completely. He'll separate completely from Hashem and His Torah. And then he's going to go and get mixed in amongst the nations, the goyim of this world. Says the Horowitz, such a person who doesn't pay attention to his weakness in the beginning, and it's going to fester and get worse and worse and worse until finally this person will be lost completely from Klal Yisrael, mixed in with the world around him, totally assimilated, probably marry out of our faith, Rahman al-Itzlan, and be very distant from the Ribbono Shel Olam. And then the Horowitz adds, V'ikar hasiba, the main reason, that a person got to such a place. Remember, this person, he began just a little bit sick. In the end of the day, he's completely swallowed up amongst the goyim, amongst the nations. He's completely dispersed and pushed away and lost from Klal Yisrael. How did that happen? V'ikar asiba, the main reason, Shabalazehu mibnei shemitchila, because from the beginning, leichizgo es hachalushi koyach, he did not strengthen his weak strength. He did not give strength to his weakened powers over here. And as a result of that, it went further and further and further and got to this point, this tragic point, where the person is no longer a God-fearing member of Klal Yisrael at all. It begins with something small. You're weak. From the weakness, if you don't rectify that, it spins and spirals out of control and gets worse and worse and worse. And Rahman al-Islam, where a person could end up, says the Chavetz Chaim, not in a pretty place of ruchnis. To be continued, be'ez Hashem.